Hello and welcome! Today's video is all about one of my favourite things, Warhammer Fantasy 5th edition. For those of you who have seen my Blood in the Badlands 5th edition campaign weekend video, or Arbiter Ian's original Tale of Four Gamer video series, which I will throw a link to in the description below, you might be aware that last year I ran a Warhammer Fantasy 5th edition fantasy campaign weekend. This was something that got cooked up during Lockdown 3, partly down to Jewel Knight Jess over on Twitter, who started painting 5th edition Wood Elves and re-whet my appetite for the gaming of my youth. It went really well last year. We had about 12 of us up at Warhammer World. We all had a great time. And it went so well, in fact, that we're doing it again this year for my 40th. Yep, I'm going to try and get 40 gamers together to play games of Warhammer Fantasy 5th edition up at Warhammer World. Today's video then is a chance for some of the gamers who are going to be up there, including Mike from my Tale of Four Gamers series, to roll up their starting territories so that they have an idea of what they can take in their starting army before the weekend starts. For anyone who's interested, I'm going to throw a link to the campaign rules pack in the description below. Give it a look if you find it interesting, if you enjoy this video. If you're here in the UK or you don't mind travelling, drop me a line in the comments if you'd be interested in coming to the event. Just to explain then briefly what we're dealing with here, this is a Old Hammer, Middle Hammer, call it what you will, Warhammer Fantasy 5th edition square-based campaign weekend that's going to be using the campaign rules from the battle book that came in the 5th edition Warhammer starter book as written by Jarvis Johnson. These have been tweaked, modified a little bit just to fit what sort of suits our gaming group and also to fit into the narrative that I'm telling, which is a campaign story set in the Badlands to the south of the old world, in between the lands of Nakara and the kingdoms of the Bretonia and the Empire. Last year, this was conquered by Batface the Bloody, Ian's evil bloodthirster who tromped all comers, captured the magical Doomstones, and has taken control of the land. So, with his permission, this year the campaign is all based around the attack on the Castle of the Bat, which is the castle that Batface has had built in the Badlands, and which the players will sort of fight it out over the course of the weekend to gather magic items to go forth and try and challenge him. And the whole weekend will then come down to a final showdown between Batface and whatever other players have managed to gather suitable magic items to gain entry to the Castle of the Bat. It'll be last man standing. Will it be Batface? Will it be one of the players? We'll find out later this year. But so, before I hand over to me and some of the gamers, just again a quick reminder, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, click subscribe, let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to get feedback. It really makes my day. Okay, with all that being said, I'm going to hand over to me and some of the gamers. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so to explain to those of you who are watching at home, the way in which this campaign is going to work is that everybody gets a set number of territories. It's exactly the same way that Jarvis Johnson wrote the campaign rules back in the 5th edition battle book. But so everyone gets 3 territories to start with, and that kind of defines what models you can have in your starting army. So unless you roll up, for example, a wood, you only get 1 war machine. Unless you roll up a town, you only get your general, a level 1 wizard, and a single champion. There's very limited starting forces, but then it's shaped and characterized by what you're able to get for your force based on the territories that you roll up. Oh, and there's a George. See, I'm not making it up. You both have curly hair and glasses and beards. No, it's not my imagination that the two of you do look vaguely similar. Okay. Hi. Sorry, something you probably didn't expect. Can I get you to turn your phone camera landscape? Because at the moment you're the only one who's showing up. Hey, there we go. That works much better. Fantastic. Cool. So what I was just saying was the plan is we're going to roll up territories going around one at a time. You are now last man in the chain as last one in. And then we'll just have a chat about what we roll up, what that means in terms of what we get to take on our armies for return to the Badlands, or Batlands, as Ian has dubbed it. So without further ado, let's start with Mike. So in a slight change to what it says in the rules pack, we're going to let Mike roll up his 3 territories first, choose one to discard, and then pick one from the starting territory chart, rather than have to pick one from the territory chart and then inevitably roll up like 3 more of identical ones. I have the territories chart here in front of me, so I'm all geared for that. And Mike, you need a D66. So 2d6 of different colours.
I have a white and a black one. We'll go with white for 10s, black for units.
Okay.
I have a tub so that you can vaguely see what I roll. I'm
And
not
we
sure
can
how
hit a
it
rattle
will
as
work.
well.
So that is 33.
33. It's a town.
I guess it's... Oh, that's a champion or something fun, isn't it?
A town gives you up to 3 characters. So it could be a champion, a hero, or the army standard bearer.
Ooh.
So you can add extra heroes into it. That could be like the Skaven Assassins or something.
I said white was 10s, didn't I?
I have a terrible memory. Anybody else remember? Let's go with that. No one else is paying attention.
In which case, 61.
Ooh, 61. 61 is a forest. D3 war machines.
Should I roll that now?
Yes. How many is your war machines?
2.
Two extra war machines. So that gives you a total of 3 war machines that you can take for your army.
I'm definitely keeping that forest. And 11.
11 is a wizard's tower. It is an extra level 1 wizard.
Ooh.
So remember, the starting territories that you can otherwise pick one from are a town, a sacred grove, which would give you a level 2 wizard, a mountain, which would give you D3 extra monsters, a forest, or some ruins. Ruins give you access to a free magic item worth D6 times 10 points. That doesn't come out of your army points total. So the question is, first of all, I guess...
There is another forest.
There is. So you could have... I mean, I suppose it's a question of how many war machines do... You're a Skaven army with Ikit Claw, aren't you?
Yeah. What fire throw? Well, I won't have Ikit Claw because I can't take him.
You can't take your general as a special character, that's right.
Yeah. So, but I do have 3 warp fire throwers and a doom wheel and others and Jezzails.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to take the forest.
A second forest?
And then a second forest. The question is then, do I want D3 characters or a level 2
It's
wizard?
Not D3, it is 3 characters. So it's a maximum 3 characters, extra characters, or an extra level 1 wizard. Warlock Engineer or bunch of heroes?
I don't think I've got a bunch of heroes, so I'm going to have to
Sounds
take a second
like the town
Warlock
is going
Engineer.
on the bonfire.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to roll for your second forest? That's what
My
you got
second
roll
forest.
now. Your extra D3.
Well, that's a 6.
That's another 3 war machines. So you can take a total of 6 war machines. I guess the Skaven will be coming out to play for Return to the Badlands then.
Yes, they will.
Bear in mind, you can take Ikit Claw. He just can't be your general. So you could take Ikit Claw and then take a Skaven general as his unwitting dupe to be the general leading the army.
Character, so I can't.
Oh, you can't, can you? No, you're right. You wouldn't be able to take him.
Use him as a warp block engineer.
I was going to say, how do you take a lord character? Or does
you wouldn't be able to. You're right, because he is a lord. You wouldn't be able to take him because he would be. Well, he's what level wizard is he?
He's a level 4.
So okay, if you captured a temple, if you managed to find somebody else who's got a temple and capture their temple,
yes,
a temple lets you take an extra level 4 wizard. So at that point, you could take Ikit Claw as a level 4 wizard.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's your goal. But as well as burning down, Murray's wood elves are going to be so miffed that you're just essentially chopping down 2 whole forests to build your war machines. And then, I guess you have to go and find someone to mug for a temple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have your D6s?
I do. So we have a blue and a yellow. So I'll actually try. So blue will be the first number. Yellow will be the second. So let's see if we.
And what army is this? Is for your
this is
counts?
for vampire counts. Yep. So hoping for lots of spellcasters. Yeah. So that is 32.
32 is a village that is one extra champion.
Okay, that's a start. So we'll take that.
For the minute, yeah.
The next is going to be that is a 16. So the one that 16? I absolutely really wanted.
That's a temple, a level 4 spellcaster.
I'll probably be keeping hold of that for a necromancer.
That gives you an extra level 4 wizard, and
absolutely.
also you can buy an extra magic item up to 75 points. You have to pay
Lovely
points,
stuff.
but
Yeah, brilliant. I absolutely take that. And the third one will be 34. So that is a town.
Towns. That's 3 further heroes.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the question, I'm assuming if you want, you could keep the town and ditch the village.
That seems like the sensible thing to do, I think.
And then you've got, if you're desperate for
one more.
spellcasters, well, then it's pick one.
Yeah.
From the other chart.
And that is from the starting territories.
Yeah.
So we've got a town. Mountain is not going to do too much
extra
for me.
Monsters.
Yeah. Forest, probably not much for a Vampire Count's army.
Not really. You get one war machine, so if you want to take a black coach, you still could.
No, I've got a black coach already, so I can take that as my one.
You can as your single war machine, yeah.
Yeah. Probably don't need two. So I think we'll go with this. I think we'll go with a Sacred Grove and get that extra.
A level 2 spellcaster. So you've got the option in your army for a level 4, a level 2, and a level 1, plus your general, who can also be a spellcaster.
Yeah, I'm curious now as to what level spellcaster Wallach is, or Wallach is a.
From the special characters section.
Yeah, indeed. A Vampire Lord, so level 3.
So the problem with that is, so
between the two.
It falls between the two, and also he'd be a Lord level character, so you'd only be able to get him if you could have taken a level 3 wizard. But I mean, Manfred is a level 4, I think, isn't he?
Yes, I think I'm going to go with Blood Dragons because I'm building a sort of I'm using a load of Bretonnian minis to do a sort of crossover. So lots of whites on white cavalry and that sort of stuff.
Well, I know that the Sacred Grove would give you an extra level 2 spellcaster, but let me just float this idea to you. This is something I used to do with my vampire counts. If you took a second town and then took the most prominent citizens from that town, gave them the Dark Kiss, and raised them from undeath as vampire thralls, you could have up to 6 vampire thralls, which would basically be a unit of Blood Knights before they did Blood Knights.
Yeah, I mean, I have actually looked into that. I think it's just getting that within the 50%. Once I've got a level 4 necromancer, probably a vampire count.
Vampire thralls are 70 points each.
They are I think
so half your army is 1,000 points.
Yeah.
If you took 5 of them, before you give them gear or any of the bloodlines powers.
Yeah.
But still, even if you think about the fact that Nightmare with Barding is 7 points, Heavy Armor is 3, so that's 80 points.
Yeah.
80 times that's 400 points. I suppose it is quite a bit. Hey, you can still take 3
when you're
vampires.
Factoring in how much is the Vampire Count's general? So like 300 points?
I've costed him up. I think I'm going to go with a count, and I think it comes to about 309, something around that. So that plus the level 4 necromancer, but potentially a few maybe 3 thralls or 2.
Your town,
on horseback.
You can take a unit of basically, if you put those 3 with the Vampire Lord, you get a unit of 4, and one of the thralls could be a battle standard bearer.
There we go. Yeah.
That would look really cool. I mean, I'm making a run for my own back here. I'll be the one who has to take his knights in to expunge the name of the lady.
Very much Hero Hammer at that point.
That's one of the things I love about 5th edition, though, is it lends itself beautifully to that level of ridiculousness.
Right. Well, I'm very happy with those rolls.
So a temple, a town, and a Sacred Grove.
That's it.
Okay, George, then.
Okay, I've got my Warpstone flavoured dice there.
Ooh,
big green one is 10. I'll just like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Roll them all. 30.
30. That is a village.
1-3.
113. That is a Sacred Grove. A level 2 wizard.
Wizards are out in force.
They are. Okay, what's your next roll?
Sacred. So that's
a level 2 wizard. Yeah.
35.
35. A trade route, an extra magic item up to 50 points for your army. Now, then, man, that's not the free magic item. That is one you have to pay the points for. But it means that you can take an extra magic item in your army.
Right.
Okay, and the third one?
The third one is 35 again.
A second trade route. So, I mean, I suspect you may only want to keep one trade route. Which of the starting territories would you be going for then?
Well, I can't get a grey seer now, can I?
Unfortunately, not at the moment. Oh, no, you can. You can take a grey seer as your general. I mean, you have to take a Skaven general, don't you?
Yep.
So you can't take a grey seer.
You have a general. Yeah. Can't take a grey seer. At least I'll have a different, more interesting army this time.
Okay.
I guess
so.
Just like more heroes, I guess.
A town for more heroes.
Low-level heroes. Okay.
So a town, not a I thought you might have gone for forest for war machines, but I suspect Mike may have taken all the forests.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'll just have like loads of clan rats and like annoying champions in the clan rats. I'll do something like that.
Okay, so you've ended up with a sacred grove for a level 2 wizard, a town for 3 more heroes in your army, and a trade route for an extra magic item. And Nathan is back with us. Hopefully his sound is working now.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hey, perfectly well. Brilliant. Okay, I was about to ask, are you taking the Dark Elves again this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Still the really, really classic Dark Elf, like third ed models.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Brilliant.
To be honest, I haven't got the time to paint anything else, so it's going to have to be the Dark Angels.
You've got a couple of the Dark Angels.
Oh, sorry, Dark Elves.
I know the Lion's back, but still.
Yeah, I've got that on my mind. But yeah, it's going to be the Dark Elves.
Okay, well, let's roll up and see what the Dark Elves take this year.
Okay, right.
Which one's the 10s?
So we've got the dark one on the 10s.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, I've got a little tray here. Let's see what we get.
Yep.
We have a 35.
35. That's a trade route.
Ooh, what does that give me?
So it gives you the option to take an extra magic item of up to 50 points.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're limited on the number of magic items you can take. That opens up the option for another one.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Next.
We have a 51.
Ooh, haven't had that high before. A gold mine!
Excellent.
Gold mining. This is, you can take up to 3 extra magic items of up to 100 points each.
Bloody hell.
So you can you're going to need more characters to load these magic items on at this rate.
I need a town. Okay. We have a 13.
Ooh, a 13. That is a Sacred Grove. So that is a level 2 wizard.
Okay.
Now you can only keep 2 of those 3. I'm assuming the gold mine potentially over the trade route.
Yeah, I think the trade route's going to have to go. And then I think we'll add in... it's either a monster or a forest. So do I bring in... I haven't got a hero to go on a monster, which is a bit unfortunate. But I do
you get to take 1 monster in your army already. You're allowed up to 1 monster.
So I've got the War Hydra. I've got the War Hydra that has to go in there. The question is, do I try and wait for another hero and take the monster now so that I can get the Dark Pegasus in the army at some point? So not sure.
Although you just rolled up that level 2 wizard, so you could take the Dark Pegasus with a wizard on top.
That's true.
With 2 100-point magic items.
Or the general potentially, but I could put a general on a dragon, which would be a little bit cheesy but quite fun.
You mean do a Gary?
He'd do a Gary, yeah. Or just bank an extra bolt thrower now and know that I've got it, because I can slap that in the army straight away.
Or potentially 3 bolt throwers.
The problem with Dark Elves is you need to have certain units to be able to bring them, and I've only got a city guard unit and a crossbowman unit. Otherwise I'd have to paint up another unit to take the 3rd, and I don't think I'm going to get around to it. So
you could take 1 bolt thrower for every regiment of 10 or more Dark Elf warriors, spearmen, crossbowmen, city guard, or Black Ark Corsairs.
So it's a bit of a limitation, but I think I'm going to bank that extra bolt thrower now, and I'll take a forest.
So take a forest. I mean, you can roll the D3 because you never know what it might turn into. But you need to know how many it's worth.
I got 2. Yes, I could have up to 3.
It's worth 2 war machines. Just if you get the chance to paint up an extra unit of infantry.
Yeah, see what I can get done. Yeah,
get the extra bolt thrower in there. Not that I want bolt throwers raining down shots on my knights.
It's going to turn into 40k because we're going to have Skaven Jezzails on one side, bolt throwers on the other. I think, just make it a shooting game. It's fine.
Mike with his 6 war machines. So, warp fire throwers, Jezzails, a doom wheel. I'm surprised he doesn't get a rat tank. There was actually, I don't know if it was in 5th or if it was in 6th. They did do rules for a Skaven steam tank. It was in one of the Warhammer Chronicles. I think it may have been 6th. I think we may be safe. I think that was in 6th edition Fantasy.
But I've got doom wheels. It's
You've got
fine.
doom wheels. Doom wheels plural now.
Maybe.
We spoke briefly of Gary. Gary has said he is out at the pub, so he's not going to be joining us, but has asked for somebody else to roll territories for him. In his words, anyone except Nathan. So volunteer to roll for Gary, please.
He knows what my rolls are like.
I was going to say, there's 3 of us left, so shall each of us roll once and see what he gets?
That's a good idea. Okay.
You can't blame anyone individually for it then.
But then no one needs to get offended when he discards the one that he doesn't want. Okay,
well, clearly what he means is I don't get to roll for him, but I get to choose the other territory. Surely that's what he means, right?
No, I think I will let him choose his own territory still. Although if we make it something, I know what he really wants is monsters. So I think, to be honest, because he wants to take all the monsters that he's managed to paint up for his Orc and Goblin army. Because those of you who may have seen my video from last year's Battle of the Badlands, Gary had this awesomely painted green dragon, Forge World dragon, and then he just went and painted a second one because why not? And just some extra monsters for the heck of it. So Cockatrice was definitely one of the ones he painted up. I remember that Death Chicken. So yeah, I think we'll chalk him up for a mountain unless somebody else rolls one up for him. Mike, what have you got?
A 42.
42, the answer to everything, and a trade route. Okay, Matt.
Okay, we have got a 33.
A 33, a town. Some extra hero hammer for his Famir. And George.
63.
63. That is a forest. I'm not sure any of those are the things he wants, but it'd be hilarious to let him know. And I'm going to put in brackets mountain on the end because I suspect that is going to be what he wants.
I'm fairly sure he does want a forest because he's got a few war machines that he's looking to paint up. So I think he'll be pretty pleased with that.
Cool. Has he picked up some extra ones? I know he had that. Was it it was the Orc Rock Clobber he used last time? Like style one.
Yeah, I think he's got another one at least. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right,
should we roll up how many forests, how many war machines he gets?
Yeah, someone roll. George, roll a D3 to see how many war machines that is worth.
I've already rolled a 1.
What?
Sadly.
It's fine. We'll blame Nathan.
I stole all the good forests.
Yeah, we'll tell him that's where. Sorry, Mike. We'll just point him in your direction and tell him that's where he needs to go to get a decent forest. Yeah. So okay. Well, actually, I mean, there are a fair number of forests out there. Last year with my dwarves, I could not get a forest for love nor money. I think it was like game 3 out of 4 that I finally managed to get a forest, so I can dust my gyrocopter off. And this year, there's forests everywhere. An inundation of trees. Right. Well, okay, I'm going to roll it for my Bretonians then. I'm hoping for towns
how
and
many
gold
forests?
mines. How many forests for the army that can't take war machines? Okay. So blues and white. Blues is the blue white. Blue is the 10s. 26. 26 is a village. Yay.
Unit
Doing well
champions
so
are
far.
good for Bretonians.
Well, yeah, I want heroes rather than champions. I want to take like Grail Knight hero on Pegasus and all manner of other funky stuff. A 15. A shrine. A level 3 wizard. Okay. That could be my damsel. Grail Shrine, obviously. Right, come on, a town. A town is not too much to ask, is it? 33. It is not. That's a town. Ooh, okay. So the question: do I want to keep the village or the shrine, and what do I want to ditch for my starting territory? Don't really need a sacred grove. I have no need for a mountain or a forest.
Ruins give you a magic item. Or
I'm
multiple
gonna
magic items.
I'm going to ditch the village and roll up a magic item. So ditch the village, and it is D6 times 10.
The ruins do it at the start of each game.
But I need to roll one to start, so...
Oh, yeah.
Starting magic item. It's a 1. A 10-point magic item.
I'm sure there are some.
No, there are loads. There are absolutely loads. There's things like Potion of Strength and all kinds of nifty stuff like that. I played a game of 5th edition. I don't know if anyone saw the pictures I put up on Twitter, but I played a game of 5th edition on Sunday against one of my friends, and I loaned him my High Elf army. And the sneaky trick that I put in there for him that he completely neglected to use was I gave him a Elven hero with the Bow of Lauren and a Potion of Strength, which meant that he got 3 shots a turn at his strength, which the turn that he drank the Potion of Strength meant that he was basically a walking bolt thrower, because he instantly became 3 strength 7 shots, which would have been amazing, except that he forgot that he had it for like the first 3 turns, even though I'd given him like the magic item cards and everything. And then the turn that he remembered, he went, I'll use it on that unit of night goblins down there. 3 very dead night goblins later, whilst the giant that is trying to kill his unit just kind of stood there and looked at him. Cool. Okay, so a 10-point magic item to start with, but a town for my extra heroes and a shrine for my damsel. Cool. Right. Well, okay, so I know kind of vaguely what I'm hoping to do with my army. I mean, it's going to come down to what I can get painted from my Tale of Four Gamers force. So there's definitely going to be the Knights of the Realm and the Knights Errant that I've got painted so far in there. And then with my extra heroes, that's going to be when I get the Pegasus dude painted, that'll be my hero on Pegasus. And my unit champion for the Knights of the Realm is going to become a hero. Damsel's going to make an appearance now. It looks like I'll have to maybe stick her in with a unit of questing knights or something. That would be pretty cool. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with what I've rolled up. Mike, so how many war machines are you going to be taking?
500 points worth.
Is that the limit for Skavens? Can you only take 25% of your army?
I'm pretty certain it's the same limit as for everyone except Bretonians.
Don't get any of it on the magic items.
25%. So I will be taking 500 points, which I think is 2 Jezzails, 2 Warp Fire Throwers, and 2 Doom Wheels.
2 Warp Fire Throwers, 2 Jezzails. That's not too bad. So, I mean, the Jezzails, then you wouldn't run them as your unit of 3 like you've based up thus far.
It would be a unit of 2. Unfortunately, I can't quite fit 3 Warp Fire Throwers and 2 Doom Wheels in it.
What would happen? I was trying to figure out. Yeah, I suppose that wouldn't quite fit points-wise, would it?
No, 510 points, unfortunately. So I've got that. And then my characters come in at a grand total of 200 points for the general and 2 Warlock Engineers. So I can add 100 points for magic items and other kit. So I might get them up to about 350, which does leave me over 1,100 points for my regiments. So I'm going to need more clan rats.
You're going to need more clan rats.
Assassins come out the regiments, not heroes.
Do they? They're not heroes.
Yeah.
What about poison wing globadiers? Are those heroes?
Regiments as well.
Ah, okay. So you can take some of those in there.
Yeah. Well, I was already planning on having 3 poison wing globadiers attached to units, and I need more.
Okay.
So because
for the moment, when the poison wing globes inevitably scatter back onto your unit.
Yeah, but I've got like 90 clan rats and 40 slaves and a unit of plague monks, and that's just over 900 points. So I've still got like 200 points to find.
I mean, allies maybe 200 points to get some allies in there.
I do have a Dogs of War army, so I'm sure I can find a unit.
Find someone disreputable who work for Skaven.
Yeah.
Are we allowed allies in this? Is that
Dogs of War? So
Dogs of War only
this year in the ally. In fact, I've said allies are allowed, but only Dogs of War to represent mercenaries who have been drawn by the lure of gold.
Interesting.
I've got lumping croops fighting cocks, and I'm very, very, because I love those models, I'm very tempted to include them in my army alongside my skirmishing Bertrand Le Brigand. Oh, that was in the hero I was going to take. I was going Bertrand.
As I said, I've got Dogs of War army, so if people do need additions to their army, I will probably bring.
Hire them out. Like, just set a price. You can be there. I'll take gold. You got gold?
Yeah. Oh, I could bring some light cavalry to go with my Skaven army, because.
Yes, you can't bring the Doom Wheel, can you? The Screaming Bell, can you? Because you can't take a
No.
Grey Seer.
But I could, if I didn't bring the 2 Jezzails, I could bring the Galloper guns.
Yeah, I guess.
They come out of allies, not war machines.
But do they fight for... That's my Dogs of War book. They fight
That is a good question.
Will they fight for Skaven?
I think, won't they fight for everyone except Bretonia? Because war machines.
Quite possibly. You get yours. You can get to yours before me. I can get to mine, I bet.
Dogs of War. Yeah, the question then is finding them in
amongst the various
Galloper guns. Yeah, everyone except gun-hating Bretonians.
There you are. So you can take Galloper. You can take Bronzino and his Galloper guns.
169 points for one, plus 100 points for the next one. So yeah, I could just about fit. Actually, they come out of regiments rather than. Well,
they would come out of allies rather than war machines. And you'd have the points for. You'd have the territories to allow you to take them.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look.
Now, hang on. Next question: are they based the same as the rest of your Skaven?
I think so.
Okay, so they would match in there with them.
I'm not. The only bit I'm not sure on is the shade of green of the basing. They're all green.
You'll have to rebase them all.
Maybe. Probably not.
Matt, so Blood Dragons.
Yes. Yeah.
How heavily are you leaning into the sort of dark side of Bretonia?
I mean, I think we'll be doing the full 1,000 points of heroes. I think that's probably going to end up with that. Most of which are probably by the sound of it now, going to be sat in one unit of horses. Although I'm slightly nervous with the amount of war machines that are around, that my general is going to be taken out turn 1, and then it'll be a very quick game. But so yeah, might have
more
to
time in the bar. Remember,
that's it. Yeah. So I think I may have to invest in magical items to help on that front.
Well, I was going to say, hang on a minute. How many points is it? There's an easy answer there.
Jade Amulet, possibly.
50 points. Cast-iron ring.
Yeah.
Although
that's only von Carstein, I think, then, isn't
it? Did they change that in the Vampire Counts book?
So,
that
yeah.
Only von Carsteins could take it.
Hang
on a sec. It may have been one of the bloodline powers. Pure blood. Yes, you'd have to take a von Carstein to take the Carstein ring.
No.
Which would prevent you then from taking the Blood Dragon stuff. Okay, no.
So, no, not quite that. But there's plenty of other items about that can buff up the survivability against war machines. Although I'm sure if I do that, then I'll end up playing nobody with war machines. Probably
you'll
yourself.
Play Ben.
Yeah.
You'll play me, and I'll go, ha, nice. To be fair, if you're bringing a corrupt Bretonian army, I'm going to have to play you for the sake of the lady.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I've got some Grail Pilgrims as spirit hosts, and then I've printed off a load of men-at-arms shields for my skeletons. Hopefully, if I get them all painted anyway, I think I've got about 80 skeletons and zombies left to paint, but so not too many.
George, you appear to be standing on your head. You turned sideways. Nathan, then. So, okay, well, your Dark Elves presumably aren't going to be much changed from the Dark Elves I fought last year.
No, they're going to be remarkably similar as it stands.
It was the same army.
Yeah. So big block of cold ones. We're going to have those 2 bulk throwers. We got a little block of city guard now that have been added in. With the level 2 wizard going in there and the general, I should have quite a few points invested in the heroes, I think, into the characters. So that'd be good. Plus those 300-point magic items. So I can see those being, those two are going to be kind of the powerhouses in the army. I'll have me level 1 wizard as my my dispel scroll, grunt as well. So I think it's kind of looked pretty familiar to you, but I've got to kind of figure out how I'm going to add in the 500 points from, the 1,500 we paid last time. I'm not entirely sure, but
300 points worth of magic items will take you a long
I know,
way
right?
towards
it means I have to do less painting, which is perfect. This is great.
I'm just taking a quick look at some of the funky magic items that you get. I tend to steer clear of the 100-point magic items much of the time because they're such a big investment in points. But I mean, Doomfire Ring, 3 times per game you can do the flame template. It's not even a flame template. It's just literally you pick an enemy unit within 18 inches and they take 2d6 strength 3 hits with no armor saves allowed.
Okay. I'm hearing there's quite a few knights around, so that could be useful.
It's a bound spell, so it can be dispelled on a 4-up, but still, that's pretty darn badass. It's a couple of good 100-point banners out there, like the battle banner for that extra plus d6 combat resolution. When you inevitably, it would seem, find yourself facing like a unit of spirit hosts or something that can't otherwise be slain. Magic item wise, I mean, I'm always a big fan of things like the Frostblade, which is if you cause a wound, they're dead.
Yeah.
1 wound. Oh, you've got a dragon, have you, Gary? That's fine. This ignores armor saves, which means it also ignores your dragon's scaly skin. If I cause a wound on your dragon, glugs the potion of strength, your dragon is dead.
Yeah, I could have done with that last year, actually. I got mightily smited by that dragon against Gary, so maybe it's time for revenge.
Well, actually, as well, we also ought to be thinking about is the final challenge at the end of the weekend for anyone who successfully finds one of the relics. It's able to challenge Batface the Bloody for control of the Badlands. You're going to want those magic items to try and shank him.
That's a really good point. I think that's what those 3 items are going to be tailored towards, I think.
Wasn't there a banishing sword or something? Was it a banisher blade? Was that a thing that just automatically wounded demons? I'm sure there was something like that. No, 125 points. Sorry, can't take it. It wounds demons automatically and does D3 wounds per hit. That would have done the trick.
Yeah.
I like this Skaven Rod of Corruption. You hit them, they roll a dice. If they roll higher than their toughness or a 6, they're just dead.
Yep.
Just like, no, go.
Is it higher than their toughness? I thought it was their toughness or less. Because the higher the toughness is, the better the chance you've got of resisting it. Hang on, let me check. I've got my copy of the book open in front of me.
If they roll higher than their toughness, then they die.
Oh, right, yeah. But I mean, like a Bloodthirst is like toughness 6 anyway, so it's just going to laugh at you in Blood God before it like rends your soul from your bones.
Well, one in 6 chance per hit.
True.
To be honest, the person it normally goes on is Lord Skrog, who has 4 attacks and frenzy. So
he's doubling that up to 8 attacks
to start with, but.
Well, it shall be excitement to see how things go down against Batface the Bloody.
No.
I think there are very few people who can take him.
Everyone's going to be tooling themselves up for taking him down, right? So
for the final showdown,
it's going to be really interesting to see what combos people come up with, I think.
Yeah. Well, bear in mind, you only get a chance to challenge him at the end if you have successfully found one of the relics that gives you the path to his castle. And interestingly, of all the ones that we rolled there, nobody rolled any doubles. Now, I know I said in the rules pack that you need to roll a double. Any doubles that are rolled during the initial territory creation don't count towards finding one of those relics. But yeah, nobody rolled any doubles. The only one who would have found one, because ruins also generate the possibility of finding one of the relics, would have been me, but you can't find them at the initial creation. But maybe I can get one later and stand a chance of getting horribly slain against Batface the Bloody.
Do we have anyone from last time who found a relic, and are they getting any bonuses this time round?
Well, last time it was the Doomstones, so it was that reference back to the original Warhammer Fantasy role-playing campaign that they did, which Willard, I was my advisor for. I basically turned around and went, Willard, what was a really, really classic fantasy role-play thing? Because he loves his fantasy role-play all the way back to the original edition. I played the original edition, but not at the same level that he did and not with the same supplements and stuff. And so he was the one who basically fed me all the background for the Doomstones. And then he was one of the ones who found 2 of the Doomstones and probably got his ass handed to him by Ian. So no, it was literally the last time around. It was Willard's elven general, who is quite decidedly dead. So Batface the Bloody has the Doomstones in the Castle of the Bat, and now it's just down to anyone who can find the missing relics of Ashuran that will potentially stand a chance of challenging him for control of the Badlands. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I hope that's been instructive. I hope that's been fun. Thanks very much for joining me for this little roll up, and. Anyone who wants to see how mine and Mike's armies are going, you can catch up on a Tale of Four Gamers videos. In the meantime, I don't know if any of you guys are on Twitter. No, everyone completely shakes their head. Well, okay, much like I did with no, am I the only one who's on Twitter? With Mike and Murray, and Willard is at least on Twitter, even if he hasn't got most of his stuff painted. What I've said is if you send me any pictures of any stuff you want to share, I will happily throw them up on my Twitter feed so anyone who can get a look at how models are progressing. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll share any pictures that the guys send me of their finished stuff, and I'll throw it up on my Twitter. You can catch up with it there. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everyone.